you have this necklace on, and the character in the book had the exact identical necklace.
Yes.
What are you, psychic? You see in the future?
Don't hold back how you feel. Welcome to the platform for the misunderstood and creatives alike. So roll a joint and pour a shot. You're listening to the Dash It Out podcast, the show that brings your after hours talk to daytime. No wrong opinions and all unfiltered. With your host, Vic Dash Tor.
Welcome to the Dash It Out show. I'm your host, Vic Dash Tor, and today I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Joyce Isaacson. She's an artist, a journalist, lover of fantasy and the paranormal, and she's here with us today to talk about her book, Wish You Was Here, a rock fantasy. Joyce, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I have a cat on top of me, but I'm doing okay.
Really?
I got a little cat on you.
Yep.
Can you just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay. I'm a wife. I'm a mother.
Mom, do I have to?
And I am a grandmother. I also have my cat. And I also like to make recipes. Before the pandemic struck, I was actually using my kick scooter and my electric scooter, and it was so much fun. And I'm creative. Yeah. I was having a lot of fun, and all of a sudden the pandemic happened, and I can't go scooting now.
What was your motivation behind writing your book? Like, what was your motivation behind Wish You Was Here book? I see that there's multiple. There's Wish You Was Here, a rock fantasy, and Wish You Were Here, Badfinger. Can you just tell us the motivation behind it?
Oh, sure. Basically, my husband, he had his own little radio station called Sound of Good Tunes. And he had some CDs, and he asked me to put them away. I decided, okay, I'll put them away, but I saw on the cover of one of them Joey Mullen from Badfinger, and I recognized him. I've been trying to see him for a long time. I finally met him in 2017, but to go back. So I went downstairs, and I was curious, and I decided to put the CD on, and I heard a song called Rock of All Ages, and the song I just blew my mind. I thought it was a Beatles song at first, and I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like Paul McCartney is doing it. Then I read a little bit of the liner notes, just a tidbit about each one of them. I really didn't know them. My husband had made me a Facebook page back in 2007 or 8 or something, and I ignored it till 2000. I was like, okay, I want to join some clubs on Facebook. He says, okay. So I said, how about a Led Zeppelin group? So he said, sure. And he showed me how to join. Then I said, how about a Badfinger group? He said, sure. I got into the Badfinger group, and I found out everybody was hurting because their manager, I guess their financial manager, ran away with their money. I was just so devastated by hearing this information, and 2 of the members had died because of this devastation that happened to them, one in 75 and one in 83. So I decided to write. Tommy, he would always be, everybody would be in his heart. I started getting all these likes and comments on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm helping somebody, I'm helping people. There's got to be more to this. Maybe I can add a little bit more and make them feel even better. I started to write all this information of what they're doing in heaven. There were these people that were in there. Oh my gosh, how did they get in there? So I wrote a backstory. What I started to write was, it's about a rock star who's battling severe depression, failing to restart his music career. He really wants to be in heaven with his bandmate, but he suddenly finds himself alone in paradise, which compelling him to search for his mate, new famous souls in a race against time to connect with him before he possibly returns back to Earth. That's what the story is about.
Love it. And that's the paranormal planes your characters visit?
Yeah, when I was going to write him in, because with the backstory actually was with a girl who was psychic, and she was having adventures with Brian Jones. One day I was just sitting on my couch and I was meditating. And then all of a sudden, my meditation vision, and in the vision, my character, Tommy, came in through my window.
What the fucking is it?
And I had left him a spread in my vision on a table, a spiritual table. Let's see, what was it again? Pizza with salami on it, milk, some sugar cubes, and he came in. The thing he asked me was, "What is this, the Thirsty Whale?" And I'm like, I've heard of it. I laughed and said, but I've never been there before. And he says, "Oh, I've been there quite a few times." He started to eat. I'm watching him eat. And I remember his voice, and I remember what he was wearing and everything, and his hairstyle. I'm like, this is so cool. He came over to me, and he said, I was told not to come empty-handed. And all of a sudden, he put this necklace around my neck, a spiritual necklace, and it had a blue diamond or something like that. And then he said, I'll see you again. And he left out the window. I've never had that situation before like that. And I was like, okay, this is really weird. I have a friend who I talked to about it. He said to me, well, I have to come over. I'm like, why do you have to come over? He says, well, I have this book and I need to show it to you. And I'm like, okay, fine. So he came over. I never saw the cover. He said, start paging through the book. So I did. And I found my character wearing the same necklace that he put around my neck. And I've never seen this picture.
Get out.
Yeah.
Real?
Yeah, for real.
You having this necklace on, and the character in the book had the exact identical necklace.
Yes.
What are you, psychic?
I've had some experiences with the psychic, yes.
Wow.
I have in the past.
Wow.
When that happened, it really motivated me to really start writing it. Then I get back from another soul saying he wants to see you again. And I'm like, okay. Came and visited me again. And I had several visits with him. And basically, he talked mostly about what had happened to him.
Oh, my God.
With the situation with the manager who basically took all the money, beat him in heaven. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I mean, I thought for sure he went back to the earth plane or something, because I always believed suicides went back to the earth. So he hung his shoulders, and he's like, oh my gosh, I've been searching and searching in heaven for him since 83, and find out that he might be back on the earth.
The one that gave you the necklace, and the one you found the necklace in the book, and you said the person keep coming back if he's coming back to the earthly plane. Are you talking about a spirit per se, or are you talking about an actual person?
I'm talking about a person who was dead coming back to the earth plane.
Oh my God, a ghost.
A ghost coming back to the earth plane as a human being again.
Mr. Sinister is back. Now, tell me what you want me to say.
I believe in reincarnation.
And this what inspired you, your past experiences, what inspired you to be in fantasy and the paranormal.
Yeah. All the experiences that I had motivated me to do this book. Honestly, I started to write down his visits, and I have visits from, I think it was from 2013 all the way to 2006, all their visits.
Okay.
Both of them.
Wow, so this is kind of like pretty much relating from your personal experience that you just made a book out of it, and, you know, just put your own experiences within the book. So a part of you is within the book. Part of your life experiences are in the book.
Well, Actually,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily my life experience. Actually, what happened was that my character came behind me and said to me, I had been looking for Pete, and it would be very boring if you don't put people in there for me to meet. And I said, well, who do you want? And he said, Janis Joplin would be cool. And I said, sure, we'll put her in. So we did. Early on,
Yeah.
when I was writing the book, he told me his favorite dish was, one of his favorite dishes was pizza. His favorite colors was black and purple. Now, this wouldn't be significant, except I've met a couple of friends later on that knew him, and they told me that his favorite colors were black and purple. And I have a pot from Joey's house, Joey Mullen, the last remaining Badfinger member. I got it from somebody. And the last thing he cooked in there, Tommy, was pizza for one. And then he left the pot.
Mm.
So,
It's so creepy, just how everything is so identical. Wow.
yeah.
What's your faith? Do you believe in like a higher power?
Oh,
Do you
yes.
believe
I
what's your faith?
Judaism.
Judaism? Okay.
I'm a very spiritual person.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I can sense that from you. Like you are like really spiritual. Yeah, it's interesting, intriguing. I'm about to like check it out. And speaking of paranormal, so I know came to my attention that you have another book called Parallel Journey. Would you happen to speak a little bit about that? Because that seems highly. It don't look like it's scary. It just looks very fascinating. Can you just tell me a little bit about that book?
Oh my gosh, if I can remember. It's been so long.
Give me like a brief synopsis.
Brief synopsis is about actually he's a college student. He just graduated from college, and he finds out somehow that he has a code. It's inside him, and people are trying to get this code from him. The government is trying to get it from him because his father is involved in something sinister. But it wasn't sinister at first. It was actually something very good. But when the government, this shady part of the government took it over, they wanted this code that the father had placed in the sister and in the son, and they're trying to get. And the only way they can get the code is if he gives it willingly. He has to give it.
The shady part of the government. You wouldn't be happy to be speaking about the Illuminati, are you?
What do you have to do that for?
The Illuminati.
Just saying. Thinking about that.
I didn't even know what the Illuminati was at that time. To tell you the truth, when I wrote it, I wrote this back, I think, in close to in the 90s, actually, Parallel Journey. And it's sitting there. If people are interested, that would be great. The thing is that I had a publisher, and the publisher turned out to be they scammed me, and the book is just out there now.
They scammed you. How did that happen?
First they were good, they were okay, and then all of a sudden they changed hands with another publishing group, and they were basically nickeling and diming me for everything. It was horrible, and I asked for my rights back, and they said, "Well, if you want your rights back, you have to pay us $90." And I've been shafted.
These publishers. Everyone, we need to watch out for them. Shit, I don't like scammers. I do not like shady businesses and shady corporations, organizations milking the artists for their money. I do not love it. Do not like it. Do not stand it. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it too.
Wow.
I hate it too. Believe me, being scammed, I know what it's like, how Badfinger was scammed. You know, I can feel their pain because it happened to me.
Sorry that happened.
Yeah.
Well, luckily this book, Wish You Were Here, Rock Fantasy. Hope that one is okay. Hope no one is coming against Joyce Isaacson. Okay.
I hope not.
I'm gonna say I hope not. Okay, because this seems highly fascinating.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's peppered with all these different characters. Andy Kaufman. He meets Lucille Ball, Gilda Radner, Jim Morris. I mean, there's just like a variety of different personalities in there that he actually meets on his way to finding his friend.
Nice.
And there's spiritual money in heaven and stores and there's houses. And I found out in our own teachings, it says that when a person passes away, they get the same house that they had in life.
Oh, yeah, it makes me so horny.
And there's different levels. There's like 7 levels of heaven.
I mean, is that necessarily a good thing? I mean, wouldn't someone want something different than what they have?
They can.
I know for a fact, if you had an option to, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
should
an
be.
option to have a different house if you really, really want it. Because in my
Right.
second
Well, I
book,
think there's a lot of people that would prefer to have a different house.
yeah, I think it also depends on all the good deeds that you do too. You can have an upgrade
Yeah.
if you do some really good
Yeah.
deeds and stuff like that in your lifetime. So you carry that with you,
Right.
and I believe that sincerely.
So a quick question. So, how do your background and how do your background as an artist and in journalism enhance your writing of this book?
Well, when I was at the Chicago Tribune, because that's where I worked, I was in contact with a very nice person named Rick Kogan, and he was the TV critic, and I was just on my breaks just starting to write because I think I've always been writing. I used to write when I was about 7, 8 years old. I would write like pictures and like a cartoon.
Gotcha.
And then I have like the little bubble and they're talking and everything. And then it just evolved into a more shape and more content, I think, for my cartoons and stuff. And then I just started drawing. I used to write a little bit here and there when I was in 3rd grade, and they had a poetry contest, and all the 3rd grade had to participate in this contest, and I decided to write
You won?
a poem, and I won.
I knew it.
I won
I knew it.
the poetry contest, and I got a certificate and everything, and I was really...
I won poetry contest. I won first place in my poetry contest in high school. And my first time ever doing poetry is from a song I've written. And I just went in there and just like took home the trophy. Like,
wow.
We got that in common. And we great minds.
Oh, yeah. I just kept on writing. I actually wrote something. I was actually in a creative writing course in college, and I was doing very, very well with it. The last one I had some dreams, and I took the dreams and I put actually in the writing thing for my final, and everybody was getting their grade, and I'm like, why don't I get a grade? He said, well, we can't grade you on this. I said, why not? He says, it's too far out. I said, what? He said, we'll grade you on the stuff that you've done in the past, but this we can't grade you on.
Son of a bitch.
I'm like, oh, nowadays something like this would fly.
Yeah, stuff happens.
Also,
super question: Is your cat still on your lap? Is your cat still messing with you?
Yeah, my kid's still sitting on top of me. It's my baby, still sitting on top of me.
I know it's a off-topic question. I'm just curious. I just want to know because I keep hearing like some type of noise, like some type of, and I was wondering if that was the cat, like bothering you.
No, he's not bothering me. He's just sitting on top of me, and he's not doing anything. Yeah, he's chilling. He's just chilling out. I wanted to mention, I do have the audiobook coming out, hopefully in December, for Wish You Were Here, the Rock Fantasy. And hopefully soon I'll also have the sequel to Wish You Were Here, which is called Heavenly Encounters. And I tie up everything at the end. Everything. And people are enjoying the first book very, very much. I'm really, really happy about that. That makes me happy.
Yes, a round of applause.
Yes.
What can you give to someone who wants to start writing? If you can give them like a brief word of motivation or two for someone who's a writer, creative writer, what can you tell them to help them in their path and in their journey?
Not to be afraid to put down their thoughts, honestly. Always put down your thoughts and don't be afraid. Don't worry about correcting it or anything like that. Just down.
Nice.
That's really important. And then later on, you can go back to it and you can actually do some editing on it, change it around and stuff like that. But putting your thoughts down at first, I think is really, really an important thing. And that's something that I did. And I think that worked for me.
That's nice.
Also, another thing that helped me with my writing was that if I ever got stuck with my writing, I'd go ahead and do something else. And then
Something else.
writing, like washing the dishes. Wash the dishes.
Washing dishes? Okay. My mind went elsewhere. I'm like, okay, I have a filthy mind, Joyce. You
Well,
can't just leave it blank like that. You gotta, it's like think of something else. You probably like went and just, probably sit back with a glass of wine and just probably watch TV. I wasn't thinking.
yeah, you could do that too. But for some reason with me, all of a sudden I would get ideas. They would just start to flow while I'm doing other things. And then I'd sit down, and after I did whatever I was doing, I would sit there and start writing down my thoughts.
Nice.
I love the advice. Going to take that to heart. Joyce, thank you so much for being on the show. Like, I really do appreciate talking to you. We're going to talk some more on the phone. I really do love. I mean, if we had more time, I could and would, but right now it's pushing that time, and I'm just like, there's so much I still want to ask you, but all the information for Joyce Isaacson will be down in the description. I cannot stress that enough. The book links, the audio links. Please check out her book, Wish You Were Here, a rock fantasy. And anything else you want to tell the audience, Joyce, before we head out?
I also have my it's called my newsletter, and in my newsletter I have bits and pieces of different things about I also, when people join my group, it also has paranormal stuff in it as well. They will get my Rock Dreams book, which is a virtual ebook PDF, and it has all my drawings from 1979 to 2015, and they're all rock stars, and they have little tidbits about each and every one of them, and that's free. That's my freebie.
That's sweet. All the information will be in the description. Cannot wait till I could check out this book and just hear more about what you have to say, or even listen to the audio book. Thank you so much again, Joyce. I truly do appreciate you coming on the Dash It Out show. Till next time, everyone, keep it cool. I'm your host, Vic Dash Tour. My lovely co-host, Joyce Isaacson.
Nice to be here.
Awesome artist. Everyone, once again, please check out Wish You Were Here, a rock fantasy. All the information will be down in the details. So until next time, peace.
Activate.
Whoa. Now it's time to back this bitch up. It's still giveaway week here on Dash It Out. Okay? I didn't forget. Did you forget? Well, anyways, I asked for everyone to tune into last week's episode and to get a key insight onto what the question would be to win this week's giveaway. Mwahahaha. So last week I made a reference to a popular president of ours. Okay? It's all political season or whatnot. First person to tell me what was the quote I made reference of wins this week's prize. And the prize is, it is a $30 gift card of your choosing for whatever you want. Please write down the answer at vic-tour.com/dashitout in the comment section. The first person to throw down the answer wins this week's episode. Well, I hope you all love this week's episode, and I give a special shout out to my lovely co-host Joyce Isaacson. Mwah, mwah, mwah. She's such a babe and so fucking awesome. Please check out her works. But anyways, until next time, I'm your host Vic Dash Tour. Peace.